Here's the purse. All I have to do is reach into the purse, and when I do, whatever's inside the purse, when I take it out, it becomes visible. In this case, that is a tomato. Now, if you're watching this, you probably think, well, hang on a minute, that's a bit weird. It gets stranger. You see, if I blow, the tomato disappears. Doesn't travel far, it actually goes back inside the purse. You see, every single time the tomato disappears, it goes inside the purse. If I take the tomato and wave the purse over the tomato disappears again, and once again goes inside the purse. It's so weird. Now, I can actually make this work long distance. And what I mean by that is if I take the tomato, put it into my pocket, leave it in there, watch very carefully, tips of my fingers, I'm going to take the purse, reach in, tips of my very fingers, the tomato comes back again. Now, what I haven't told you is there's actually more than one tomato inside the purse. That's obviously the tomato we've been working with. There's a second one in there. You can't see it until you pull it out. Which means that I can now do the 2 tomato trick. And for the 2 tomato trick, you need to watch very, very carefully and don't blink. So the 2 tomato trick uses 2 tomatoes, as you would imagine. I need to watch really carefully, nothing in my hands, nothing up my sleeves, just a whole bunch of tattoos. But if I take this tomato, put this one over here, this tomato over here, all I have to do is touch my thumbs together. And when I do, this tomato disappears from here, travels invisibly and lands over here. Now, when I do this, people turn around to me and they say, Craig, because that's my name, Craig, they say, Craig, I know how you did that. When you touched your thumbs together, you threw the tomato in the other hand. And I don't do that, but to prove it to you, I'll do it again. Watch. 1 tomato over here, 1 tomato over here. Now this time I'm not going to touch my thumbs together. I'm just going to go up and down. And when I do, this tomato disappears from here and it jumps over here. Now, I can actually do this on the count of 10. Watch very carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Works every single time. But I need to know if you guys are observant or not. Thank you, Mark. So I want you to watch very carefully, see if you can catch what I'm doing. I'm going to put 1 tomato in my pocket. That's 1 in my pocket. I'm going to put 1 tomato in my hand. Now the question is, how many tomatoes in my hand? Some people are saying 1, some people are saying 2, some people are saying 10. The answer is, of course, 3. And the reason I know the answer is 3 is because it's called the 3 tomato trick, because it uses 3 tomatoes. Now let me do that again for you. Maybe you didn't know the name of the trick. 1 tomato goes in the pocket, that's 1. 1 tomato in the pocket. 1 tomato goes in the hand. 1 tomato goes in the pocket. How many tomatoes in the hand? Now, I'm guessing that most of you aren't saying 3 because you think I'm lying. The thing is, I'm not going to lie. I'm telling you the truth. It's called the 3 tomato trick. It uses 3 tomatoes. So I'll do it one final time for you. Look, one final time. You know the name of the trick now. Spoiler, it's the 3 tomato trick. 1 tomato goes in the pocket. That's 1 in the pocket. 1 tomato goes in the hand. That's 1 in the hand. 1 tomato goes in the pocket. That's 1 in the pocket. One last time. How many tomatoes in the hand? Some might say 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is none. You see, there are no tomatoes. The whole thing was using my imagination. So the question is, where have the tomatoes gone? Well, 2 of them have vanished completely, and 1 of them has jumped back here into my back pocket. But you know what? There's a rule in magic that you need a big finish. So I'm going to come as close to the screen as I can, and I'm going to do my big finish for you. Watch. I am going to wave the tomato from one side of the screen to the other. Watch the tomato. You are feeling sleepy. You will give me all your money. Okay, maybe you're not that sleepy. But every trick does need a big finish, which is why when I put this tomato in my hand and snap my fingers, you can't get a bigger finish than that. That is a big, giant finish. Look at the size of that tomato. Boom! Hello, Non-Stop Kids Entertainment. We're doing tricks with tomatoes. How good's that? Tomato soup, Mark. Well, you never know. You never know. So, that's what I do. I do magic. So we did a trick with some... We did a trick with an invisible purse, we did a trick with some tomatoes, which is really fun. I'm going to show you my signature trick. Let me explain something to you guys. Every single magician has a signature trick. Every single magician has a trick that they do that they've made their own. The trick that I'm about to show you right now is my signature trick. If I could only perform one trick for the rest of my life, this is the trick it would be. And I have it over here. Let me go and grab it for you. I have it here inside this bag. See, inside this bag I have something that I personally am completely obsessed with. In fact, what I have in this bag, there's a good chance that most of the people watching this have them at home as well. I have in here 2 Rubik's Cubes. Now, I don't know if you guys have got a Rubik's Cube. You probably have. If not, you've definitely seen one. I've got a collection at home of over 250 Rubik's Cubes. There's a technical term for that. It's called SAD. And part of my hobbies is I like solving Rubik's Cubes. Now, I've got 2 cubes inside this bag. Well, let me show you them to you. This first one right here This is the oldest cube I own. This cube is probably, at this point, about 15 years old. It's not been solved in probably a decade. This is a very, very, very old cube. The other cube, however, anybody that's watching this could solve the other cube. And the reason is, it's brand new and it's not yet been mixed up. Like I say, really easy to solve that cube. Now I'm going to show you something with that cube. I'm going to leave the other cube, the mixed up cube, inside the bag. And I'm going to put that over there. Your job is to keep an eye on that mixed up cube inside that bag. That's going to be our big finish. But I'm going to show you something with this one first of all. Now there's 6 sides to a Rubik's Cube. There's a different colour on each side. And the idea is simple. The more you mix these things up, the harder they are to solve. There's actually 47 quintillion million combinations with the Rubik's Cube, which is a lot. Now, the world champion can solve a Rubik's Cube in about 5 seconds. He uses 2 hands. I'm going to solve a Rubik's Cube in 1 second with 1 hand. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to hold the cube in the center of the screen. I'm going to shake it, and it's going to solve in 1 second flat. Okay, so I want you to watch very, very carefully. I'm going to come right here in the center of the screen. Watch this. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and it solves in a second. I see likes. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Now, when I do this, people say that they think they know how it works. A lot of time, people say, "Oh, you're just really quick at solving a Rubik's Cube." Well, let me tell you something. Nobody can solve a Rubik's Cube that quickly. It's impossible. How I do this is I've learned how to solve a Rubik's Cube by magic with 1 move. Anybody can solve a Rubik's Cube with 1 move. You can solve a Rubik's Cube with 1 move. Genuinely, you can solve a Rubik's Cube with 1 move. Let me show you what I mean. So, for example, this is a move. Okay? You can solve any Rubik's Cube with 1 move. Watch. I'm going to solve a Rubik's Cube with 1 move. I'm going to take this side and turn it back towards me. 1 side and it'll solve. Here we go. 1 move. Here we go. Any questions? Are we following this? Is this making any sense whatsoever? It's confusing me, so I'm guessing it's confusing you as well. Look, we'll do it one last time. But this time, I'll let you guys choose the colour and I'll do it with just 1 colour. First person to put a colour in the comments, that's the colour I'll use. So if you guys can just pop any colour into the comments that you want, that would be good. Doesn't matter which colour, it's completely your choice. First comment that comes up, that's what I'll use. And while I'm waiting for a colour, let me explain what's going to happen here. I'm going to do this one last time with just 1 colour. And I'm going to explain how it works as well. I'm going to break the rule of magic. I'm explaining how it works. Okay, you were first marked with orange. That's the one I'm going to go for. So I'm going to explain how it works. Let me just mix it up. Okay. What you need to understand with the Rubik's Cube is the center points never change. The center never moves. So in other words, if you want to, well, let me mix it up and you'll see what I mean. So, for example, if you wanted to solve the white side, it would have to be there where the white center is. That could not be the white side. That would have to be the red side. But you wanted orange, Mark, which would be here. So I'm going to hold this like this. Try and watch the bag, remember, it's under my armpit. Try and watch the cube, the orange side. I'll hold it right there in the center of the screen. I'm going to shake it, and every time I shake this cube, it will start to solve on the orange side, the side that you wanted. Watch. As I shake, what happens is the cube starts to solve. And as the cube starts to solve, it fills itself in slowly. And as that orange side solves, every other side of the cube solves as well. Oh my God, look at that. It's a miracle. But that's pretty good. But I asked you to keep an eye on this bag the whole time. And the reason is, I said I wanted a big finish. And this bag has had inside it the mixed up Rubik's Cube from the very beginning. Now, if I told you I could solve that mixed up cube in that bag, that'd be pretty good. But I've already solved the Rubik's Cube 3 times. And from a theatrical point of view, this whole thing needs to build. So I'm going to see if I can build this up for you. What I'm going to try and do is when I snap my fingers, I'm going to make every single colour on that cube disappear. The red, the green, the yellow, the orange, the white, even the black under the stickers. Every single colour will disappear. It happens when I snap my fingers. And the only way we're going to know this has worked or not is by looking at the bag and looking inside the bag. And I'll come really close to the screen. I don't know how much you can see. Probably not that much until I take the cube out. Because trust me, you can't get a bigger finish than the cube turning into a completely crystal clear block. No colours at all, an empty bag, a crystal clear block, and that is the big finish. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I bet you Ryland the Kid Magician is bigger. Yeah, he's quicker. Yes, he is. He genuinely is. His solve time is 16 seconds, Jay, which is just insane. I'm cheating, obviously, because that's what magic's all about, cheating. Now, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I think we've got time for maybe 1 or 2 more. So, what I'll do, let me go and get something for you. I'm going to show you the oldest trick in magic. Now, this trick, I just need to get a few bits and pieces. This trick is genuinely the oldest trick in magic. I just need a few bits and pieces. There we go. So this trick is over 2,000 years old, and I am reading your comments. A giant ice cube. Yes, it is, right? So this trick is over 2,000 years old. This trick is so old that if you ever get a chance to go to Egypt and you go down into the pyramids and you look at the hieroglyphs down there, you'll see pictures of people doing this trick from thousands of years ago. Very old trick. This trick's so old that in the very first book ever published about magic, published in 1584 by Reginald Scott, it was called The Discovery of Witchcraft. Chapter 1, page 1, this trick. And for many, many years, this trick was a rite of passage for magicians. In other words, you couldn't consider yourself a proficient magician without performing this routine. Not as many magicians perform it these days, unfortunately. However, it is still an amazing trick, and I'm going to perform it for you right now. It's called The Miracle of the Cups and Balls. And it uses, obviously, cups. Now, these cups are solid metal cups, 3 cups altogether, and we put them down on the table. One goes there, one goes there, one goes there. 3 cups down on the table. Hopefully, you can see. Now, as well as the 3 cups, we need something else. We need, here it is, a magic wand. Now, there's 2 reasons for the magic wand. The first reason is, when I tap the cups with the magic wand, it makes a really cool noise, but that's not the main reason. The main reason is this is called the cups and the balls, and to do this trick, as well as the cups, you need little red balls. This magic wand can make balls appear. Watch. If I just take the wand, put it through the front of my hand, tap the front and the back, when I do, a little red ball appears. That is a little red ball. And that little red ball sits right there on the cup. Now, every single time I take this wand, whoa, there you go. Every single time I take this wand and tap, I get another little red ball. Now, this one here is the magic ball. This is the one that goes through the cups to the table below, but I'll get to that a little bit later on. There is obviously one last ball. The last one is right here on the end of the wand. You probably can't see it until I snap, and then it appears right there on the final cup, which means that we now have 3 cups, 3 red balls, a magic wand, no sleeves, 2 hands, 10 fingernails, 10 knuckles, and I talk fast. So try and pay attention. There's a lot of magic is going to happen very, very quickly. The idea is to take ball number 1. All I have to do is tap the front and the back of the hand, and when I do, the ball disappears without leaving a trace. Maybe you didn't know what was going to happen. I'm going to do it again with this ball. This one goes exactly the same way. I just tap and tap, and when I do, this ball disappears. That leaves us with one final ball. This is the final one. Make sure I don't cheat. It goes right there through my hand, out the other side, and when I tap, that final ball disappears. Because the question is, where do they go? Well, if I just tap, 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 that's where they go. You see, the first ball goes underneath this cup, the second ball goes underneath this cup, and the third ball goes underneath this cup. Oh, and one of them's dropped on the floor. That's gravity. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, that's pretty good, but Craig's obviously cheating because when he's holding the balls in his hand, he's doing something dodgy, and I don't. But to prove that to you, I'll put the balls under the cups. Now there's no way I can cheat because the balls are under the cups. I can't touch the cup balls. They're under the cups, and yet I'll still make them jump. All I have to do is tap, and the first ball goes from underneath this cup, the second ball goes from underneath this cup, and the third ball, well, that's where the other 2 have ended up. Now that's pretty good, and hopefully you guys are impressed by this, but I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, what else can you do with the cups and the balls? Well, it is possible to make the solid cups and the solid balls penetrate, to have the balls go down through the solid cups. Now, to be clear, these are solid cups. To be clear, these are solid balls. Yeah, I'm still going to try and make them penetrate through each other. Watch. 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, 3 cups, 3 balls. This happens really quick. All I have to do is take the first ball, put it here. Just cover it up like this, and when I tap, that first ball penetrates down to the table below. Now, maybe you missed that, so I'm going to do it again for you. The second ball, it goes right there on the bottom cup. All I have to do is tap, and when I do, that final ball melts right down to the table below, right there. That leaves us with one final ball, which goes right here. And this time, I won't cover it up, I'll just do that, and when I do, the third ball goes right down to the table below. Now, there's a problem with this trick, and the problem is there's too many cups. You have 2 eyes, I have 3 cups. Let me get rid of a cup. We'll just use 2 cups, 2 balls. I'll get rid of this ball. Now it's easier to follow because we've just got 2 cups and 2 balls. I'll spread them out a little bit. I'll put that one under there, I'll put that one under there, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and make that ball from underneath that cup go underneath that cup. There's only 2 cups to watch right now. Watch. Now just tap like there, and it's done. This ball goes from underneath this cup and it appears underneath this cup. Of course, if I tap and tap again, they jump back. You don't look very impressed. I'll do it for real. Look, I just tap, and when I do, this ball disappears from underneath this cup, and over here, we have 2 balls. Now, there is a problem, however, and the problem is there's still too many cups to watch. So let me get rid of another cup, let me get rid of another ball, I'll even get rid of the magic wand. So now we just have 1 cup, 1 ball, and it's so easy to follow now. Now, do not blink, because there's going to be 10 moments of magic in 30 seconds. That's 1 moment of magic every 3 seconds. All I have to do is take the ball. When I squeeze, the ball disappears. It doesn't go far, it goes right there underneath the cup. Every time I take the ball and squeeze, it disappears, goes under the cup. Now I can take the ball and have it penetrate through the cup, or I can take the cup and the ball and have it go the other way, or I can take the ball and have it go through the back of the hand, or I can take the ball, throw it up in the air and have it land underneath the cup. I can even take the ball, put it in my pocket and still have it go under. It's confusing, right? I mean, there's so much to follow. So I'll tell you what, we'll go straight for the big finish. Let's bring the other 2 cups back. 3 cups and 1 ball. For the big finish, I'm going to put the ball in my pocket and I'm going to try and make the ball go underneath one of the cups. I'll make it go left to right. So we'll start here, then here, then here. It happens straight away. As soon as I put the ball in my pocket and tap, the ball jumps right there underneath the cup. Now you might have missed that, I'll do it again. If I put it here and tap the second ball, it goes again. It just does that. And that leaves 1 final cup, and all I have to do is tap. And that's when the final ball goes, which is a great big finish, but it isn't a big enough big finish. If you want a big finish, well, I have to put the ball away 1 last time and tap, tap, and tap. And that is a big, big, big finish. And let me explain why. You cannot get bigger than a big blue ball. You cannot get bigger than a big yellow ball. You cannot get bigger than a big red ball unless you give the middle cup 1 last tap and you end up with an honest to goodness, real life lemon. And that is the big, big, big finish to the cups and balls. Did you enjoy that? Let me know. I've not been looking at the comments for a while. I am so lost. I hope that's a good thing. I don't know. Is that a good thing? I'm hoping it is. Yeah, that's the cups and balls. Guys, that's my favourite trick. I remember spending years as a kid learning how to do this. When I first got into magic, it was magic books. That's what people did. They did magic books, and not these days, but back when I was first into magic, they did magic books, and all the books said you have to learn the cups and balls. You have to learn the cups and balls. You can't be considered a real magician unless you learn the cups and the balls. So I spent a long time learning the cups and the balls, and it's an amazing routine. It really, really is. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. That was amazing. Oh, thank you. Who? I don't even know who said that. Oh, thank you, Natasha. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's wonderful. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Well, you know what? I'm trying to work out if I've got time for 1 more. Let me just look at the time. I don't want to monopolise your time too much. I tell you what, let me know. If you want to see 1 more, just type yes in the comments. And if I got enough people saying yes, I'll do 1 last one for you. Would you like 1 last one? I think I've probably got time to do 1 final trick if I see anybody typing yes into the comments. If I see nobody typing yes, that means that you guys don't love me and I'll just walk off and cry into my coffee. There we go. Go on, 1 more. Oh, thank you, Mark. You really are a top fan. Yes, 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 yes. Go on. Okay, 1 last one. What shall I do? Okay. You ought to see the side of this. I've just got like magic everywhere. It's crazy. I'll do 1 last thing for you. I'll do this. I'll tell you the story about how I got into magic. And I want to make sure that you guys can see this. So if I put these coins on here, hopefully you can see that. Let me know if you can see this. Just come and watch some words here. Well, there was a lot more. Oh, right, there's a lot more, Ellen. So this will get posted live onto the thing afterwards. So make sure that you watch it. I'll tell you what, instead of doing that, I'll do this. Because this is more visual. I'll do 1 last thing for you guys. Check this out. I'm going to show you a trick with some rope. 3 pieces of rope altogether. Now they're all exactly the same. These 3 pieces of rope are exactly the same. The only difference is they're different sizes. Now if you were here, you could examine them. Unfortunately, if you're not here, you can't examine them, so you'll have to trust me. 3 pieces of rope. Now look, this is the first piece, this is the long piece. This is the second piece, this is the small piece, and this is the medium-sized piece over here. And what we're going to do with this trick, we're going to break every single rule of magic. And rule number 1, you should never tell the audience what you're going to do before you do it. But I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these 3 pieces of rope, and I'm going to try and make it look like they're all exactly the same size. So in other words, the long piece is the same size as the medium-sized piece, which is the same size as the small piece. It looks like this. When I blow, it's done. You see, you can create the illusion just by rubbing. There you go, that all 3 pieces are the same size. In other words, this is the first piece of rope. This one here is the second piece of rope. This one here is the third piece of the rope. They're all exactly the same size. Now, the second rule of magic is, well, you know what? Actually, before we get to that, let me explain. You see, that was a pretty good trick. But just like with the cup trick, you've got 2 eyes. And I've got 3 pieces of rope. So let me get rid of one of the pieces of rope and just use 2 pieces. Now it's a lot easier to follow because we only have 2 pieces of rope. Now watch really carefully, don't blink. Piece of rope number 1, piece of rope number 2. If I blow, they melt together. They fuse together into one long piece. Now rule number 2 is you never repeat the trick. The first time it's educational, the first time it's entertainment, the second time it's educational. I'm going to do it again for you. Okay, now in order to do it again, I have to cut the rope into 2. Normally to do that, you'd need scissors. I don't need scissors, however, and the reason is I have the sharpest fingers in the world. These are called scissor fingers. These fingers are so sharp that if I just cut like that, I can cut the rope into 2. Now I've got 2 pieces of rope again, I can put them back together. Watch the middle of the rope right there. Don't blink. If I blow, the rope goes back together into one long piece. Which is pretty cool, right? Now, the final rule of magic, which you should never, ever, ever break. You'd like to know how it's done, Ellen? Well, I'm just about to tell you. You see, the final rule of magic is you should never tell people how it works, but I'm going to tell you exactly how this works. It's really simple, okay? What happens is I've got 1 piece of rope, and I make 1 piece of rope look like 2. And how I do that is I hold the ends in one hand, I hold the middle in the other, and I make the ends in the middle change places so quickly it looks like 2 pieces of rope. Now I know you don't believe me, so I'm gonna prove it to you. Watch. I'm gonna hold the ends over here. I'll come really close to the camera. I'll hold the middle over here, and I'll make the ends in the middle change places. Now watch. Don't blink. It's gonna happen on 3. 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! Okay, don't look impressed. Let me do it for real. Look. You take the first end. You pull the first end into your hand like this, and you blow, and the first end jumps over there. Then you take the second end and you pull the second end into your hand and you blow. And the second end jumps over there. When the ends are over there, the middle's over there. Hopefully the ends in the middle have changed places. Yes, they have. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay, you don't look too impressed. Let me go for the big finish. This is the big finish. I'm going to try and pull the ends off the rope. Right in front of your eyes. I'm going to pull the ends off the rope. Watch. I'm going to take the ends over here and all I have to do is pull. On 3, I'll pull the ends off the rope. Watch this. Once, twice, 3 times. I can pull the ends right off the rope. Because look, all I've got now is a middle over here and I've got the ends over here. This is impossible. You don't see ends getting pulled off a rope ever. And the only way to fix this is to put the ends back on. Watch. I'm just going to find the right spot in the middle. The right spot is right there. I'm going to come as close to the screen as I can. Make sure I don't cheat. Watch the ends. Watch the middle. I'm just going to wrap the ends over the middle. Right there. And this happens on 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's when the ends go right back onto the rope. Which leaves us with 1 long piece of rope. The only way to fix this is by going back to getting 2 pieces of rope. Watch this. If I just cut right there, we get 2 pieces of rope. And we're back to the way we were at the very, very beginning, which is 3 pieces of rope. The only problem is, at the very beginning, I had 3 pieces of rope that were all different sizes. These are all the same size. So if I really am going to go back to the way I was with 3 pieces of rope, I have to give a little shake. And just like that, we end up with a small piece of rope. We end up with a long piece of rope. We end up with a middle piece of rope. And that is a miracle with 3 pieces of rope. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that magic super glue I do. Make sure that you're on the, make sure you follow us on Facebook because we go live at 1 o'clock every single day. If you want to see some more close-up magic, I'm back doing close-up magic again next week. If somebody from head office is watching this, would you mind telling everybody on here when I'm back doing close-up magic? That would be good. Hopefully Non-Stop Kids will comment. But if you want to see some more close-up magic, thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, everybody. If you want to see some more close-up magic, we go live every single day at 1 o'clock. And I will be live at some point. It is all sleight of hand. It is all sleight of hand, Ellen. It's not real magic. I've just spent a lot of time practicing. You know, how did I get this good? I spent years while everyone else was out having fun while they were a teenager. I was in my bedroom practicing with my rope, which sounds terrible, but there you go. That's the way it was. But if you want to make sure, follow us on Facebook. We go live every single day at 1 o'clock. If you want a kids party, head over to nonstopkids.co.uk. And I am back one day next week at 1 o'clock. I don't know when. Hopefully Non-Stop Kids will jump on here and they'll say something on this thread. So look out for it if you want to see some more close-up magic. You guys are awesome. Hope you have an amazing day. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again. Thank you, guys. Next Wednesday, there you go. Jay's just put on there. Wonderful. Thank you, Jay. So next Wednesday, I'm back and I'm going to do a whole completely different set. So if you want to see some more close-up magic, next Wednesday at 1 o'clock, right here. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye, everyone. How long have I been doing it? 25 years. But if you go on our YouTube channel, you want to learn some simple magic tricks, go on our YouTube channel, type in Learn Magic with Ryland. Ryland is one of our magicians, and every single Sunday he teaches magic, and he's got like about 20 episodes. Really cool, simple tricks with cards and coins and stuff like that. So if you want to learn how to do some simple magic, just type into YouTube, Learn Magic with Ryland. If you look at the, I think he puts a new episode on every Sunday. So cool. Yeah, so you want to learn some magic. I'll put a link to one of his videos on here later on. I wish, Jay. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye.